Hello, everybody. Welcome to Story Time again from the Milledgeville Public Library here in Illinois. I hope you all had a great weekend. I hope you're doing okay with all of this staying to yourselves and staying just with your own families and your own houses and things. Today's story is the story of the Three Little Pigs. And this might not sound the way that you're used to it sounding, but this is the way the story was written down originally. Once upon a time, there was a mother pig who had three little pigs, and they were old enough to go out into the world and make their own way. And so she sent them out into the world and she said, "Goodbye, be careful, remember to make smart choices, and don't forget to write me when you get a chance." And so the three little pigs went out, and when the road split into three directions, they all went their own way. Well, the first little pig, he ran into a man. He saw a man that had a cartload of straw, flimsy kind of straw. And he said, I think I'd like to build me a house, and I think that straw would make a beautiful golden house, and it won't take long to build either." And so he said to the man, "I would like to buy your straw. I'm going to build myself a house." And the man said, "I don't think that's a very good idea." And he said, "Oh, mind your own business." And so he bought the straw, and he built himself a nice little golden house made out of straw. And shortly after it was done, a mean old wolf came by. And this wolf was hungry. He hadn't eaten in a couple of days, and it just so happened that pig was his favorite food. And he saw that house, and he smelled that pig, and he said, little pig, I love your house. It's so pretty. Won't you let me come in?" And the little pig said, "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." Well, the wolf, he was getting a little hungry. His stomach was growling. He was a little grouchy. So he said, "Wow, that was rude. So I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." And he puffed and he puffed and he blew that straw house all completely to pieces. And he jumped on the little pig and he gobbled him up. Well, the second little pig, he walked down the road until he saw a man who had a big wagon load full of sticks. And he thought, that will make a very pretty house, and it won't take long to build either. And so he bought those sticks off of that man, even though the man told him he didn't think it was a very good idea to build a house out of sticks. The little pig didn't care. He built his house anyway, and he built it up nice and quick, and it looked pretty, and so he liked it. And so he went and he sat in his house. Well, that wolf was wandering the neighborhood, and he happened upon that little house built of sticks. And he looked at that house, and he knew it wasn't very strong. And he smelt that pig, and he said, "Hey, little pig, I like your house. It's so pretty. Will you let me inside so I can see the inside?" And the little pig said, "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." And the wolf, who was getting hungry again by this point, said, "Well then, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." And he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew that house down. And he jumped on the little pig and he ate him. Well, the third little pig, he was a smart little pig. He knew that sometimes pretty isn't the best thing. Sometimes what we need is something sturdy, and sometimes fast is not the best way to do things. Sometimes we need to make sure we take our time and make sure it's done right. And so he saw lots of different people with lots of different things that he maybe could build a house of. And then he saw a man that had a load of bricks, just like these. And he said, now those would make a good, strong, sturdy house. It'll take me a while, but it'll be worth it. And he bought those bricks from that man, and he took his time, and he built himself a nice, snug, sturdy little house. Well, the wolf was wandering the neighborhood again, and he saw that little brick house, and he could smell that little pig. Ooh, it smelled so good, and his stomach was growling again, and so he said, little pig, your house looks so nice and pretty. Won't you let me inside so I can see the inside? And the little pig said, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. And the wolf said, well, then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. And he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew, and he blew, and he blew. But that little brick house was so sturdy that the wolf ran out of breath. And he couldn't huff, and he couldn't puff anymore, and he could not blow that house in. So then he sat down and he thought for a while. He realized he was going to have to be tricky if he wanted to get to that little pig. Little pig, did you know that Farmer Brown has a ripe field of turnips that are just ready to be dug up, and it's only 10 cents for as many as you can pick? How about we go pick some? And the little pig said, oh, well, I just changed into my pajamas and brushed my teeth. Maybe tomorrow. All right, said the wolf, I'll come by about 10 o'clock and we can go pick some turnips together. Well, that little pig was a smart little pig. And the next morning he got up at 9 o'clock. He ran down to Farmer Brown's and he picked as many turnips as he could, and he paid the farmer his money, and he ran back home. And when the wolf came at 10 o'clock, the little pig was peeling those turnips and getting them ready to cook. And the wolf knocked on the door and he said, little pig, I'm here. Let's go pick some turnips at Farmer Brown's. And the little pig said, oh, well, I woke up a little early this morning, so I already went to Farmer Brown's. I've got my turnips right here, and I'm getting ready to cook them. Well, the wolf was not happy about that. So, well, all right, little pig. Oh, hey, did you know Farmer Jenkins over there, he's got an apple orchard, and he says we can come and pick as many as we want, and it won't be real expensive. We can just buy some apples, pick all as many as you want. And the little pig said, well, that sounds delicious, but I'm cooking my turnips right now. Maybe we can go tomorrow. And the wolf said, all right, I'll be here at 9 o'clock. Well, the next morning, the little pig was up at 8 o'clock, and he went down to Farmer Jenkins's and he was picking apples. But he took a little longer picking apples than he thought he would. And the wolf showed up. And he said, little pig, did you find some good apples? And the little pig said, oh, yes, I found some delicious ones. In fact, here, this is a really good one. You should try this one. And he threw the apple out of the tree, and it rolled off down the hill, and the wolf chased it. And the little pig scrambled down out of the tree, and he really quick paid for his fruit, and he ran home. And when the wolf came back to the apple orchard, the little pig wasn't there. And he went back to the house, and the little pig was already in the house, and he couldn't get him. Well, finally, the wolf came up with an idea, and he said, little pig, there's a fair tomorrow, a market fair tomorrow over at Hog Hill. You want to go? And he said, oh, that would be lovely. And the wolf said, I'll be here at 8 o'clock. Well, at 7 o'clock the next morning, the little pig left the house and ran down to the market fair down at Hog Hill. And he got down to the market fair, and he was looking, and he was shopping for a few things, and he was having fun at the market fair. And then he saw the wolf coming. Well, really quick, the little pig, who had just bought a butter churn to use in his house, jumped inside of the butter churn and tipped it over and pushed, and it started rolling down the hill towards his house. Well, the wolf saw that big rolling thing coming at him, and he got all kind of scared, and he ran away because he didn't know what that thing was. It looked dangerous. Well, later that afternoon, the wolf came to the little pig's house, and he said, little pig, I know I'm a little bit late, but we could still go to the fair at Hog Hill. He said, I was trying to go there earlier, and well, this big thing came rolling down the hill toward me, and it was terrifying, and I didn't know what it was, so I went and took cover. I didn't run away, I just took cover because I didn't know what it was. And the little pig said, well, that big wooden thing was a butter churn, and I was inside of it. I've already been to the fair. I don't need to go again. Thank you very much. Well, that wolf was so angry by that response that he decided he was going to get that little pig. He would go down the chimney. That's what he was going to do. He was going to go down the chimney. He wanted that little pig so badly. He was so hungry by now. And so he started scrambling up, trying to climb up onto the roof. Well, the little pig saw what was happening outside his window, and he could hear the wolf trying to climb onto the roof. And so really quick, he took his biggest pot and he stuck it in the fireplace, and he filled it up with water, and he put a fire underneath it, and he lit that fire. Well, by that point, the wolf had managed to get himself up onto the roof of the house, and he climbed up, and he looked into the chimney, and then he jumped into the chimney and went down the chimney, and he landed right in that pot of hot water that was just starting to boil, and it was so hot, and it was so scary, and it hurt so bad that the wolf jumped right up, and he jumped right out of that pot, and he went right up through the chimney and down the roof, and he ran away, and he ran out of that district, and nobody's ever seen him since. And the little pig, he took all of the turnips he had and all of the apples that he had and some other things he had in the house, and he made a great big stew, and he invited all of his friends from the neighborhood to come and celebrate the fact that the big bad wolf was gone for good. And that is the story of the three little pigs. I hope you enjoyed it. And on Wednesday at 3 o'clock Central Daylight Time here on the Milledgeville Public Library of Illinois' Facebook page, we will be telling the story of the fairies. I hope you can join us. We'll see you later. Bye.